Got it. All right. There we go. And we're up and running. So, Anthony McLeggan, welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions. It's the powerlifting edition, and you're a powerlifter. And yeah, awesome to have you on the show. And thank you for making the time to share your story.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Noted.
Yeah, 100%. So, can you give us a little bit of a rundown of your story in powerlifting, who you are, and sort of, a little bit about you and a little bit
Yeah,
about the lifting?
yeah, certainly. Well, I'm pretty new to powerlifting. Well, I've been powerlifting for I think it's over 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
I'm 43. I'm 43 now, but I did
Right.
hear about powerlifting whenever I was 17. I
Okay.
used to be a fitness instructor. There was a guy who used to go to college with, and he'd done the powerlifting. So a couple of times he would train with me, and it was something that I thought I would be interested back then, but I didn't really pursue it and sort of just done the usual gym stuff, just bit of bodybuilding,
Yeah.
thinking. Then about 7 years ago, I was at the gym, and we live in Bangor, so there's a guy, Glenn Ross. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Right. No.
He
But
was one
yeah.
of the strongmen, so he was the world's strongest man. I don't think he ever won it. He won British,
Okay.
and he's pretty big over Northern Ireland. They call him the daddy.
Well, there you
So
go.
I was, yeah, I was saying to a guy in the gym, do you know what? I'd like to give the strongman a go, see what that's like. And he's like, Anthony, you're too small for that. And, you have to be full of steroids. And he goes, what about the powerlifting? Because he'd done the powerlifting. This guy was in his 60s at the time, and says to me, there's a competition coming up in 2 months. When you enter it and see how you get on.
Right.
So done my first competition in the NIPF. I won that. Done pretty well. I was like, this is the sport for me,
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was that, your first win?
It was about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
So it was. So I think it was about 36 at the time whenever I took it up. So I won my first competition, and then I got asked to do. I think it was in Ireland. We have counties. I think it is. So it
Right.
was like County Down. No, Ulster, Connacht, something else. I don't know all the different ones in Ireland, but they all compete against each other. So I done that, competing for Ulster, which is most of Northern Ireland.
Mm.
Technically, it's Northern Ireland,
Right.
which we would say. Done that, done well there, and then got to go to the Home Nations in Glasgow. They asked me would I compete in that. I competed in that, and then I think Ireland asked me to compete in the Western European competition. So it was only like my third or fourth competition.
Okay.
So I competed at the Western Europeans in Norway. So that
Right.
was me hooked. So it was, I was like, oh, I can get away. If Western, I think it's like a secondary competition and international, but you can still set world records at it. So I went and competed there, and then came back and just keep competing, sort of.
Right, 100%. Now, coming out to South Africa for Commonwealth, is this your first? You've traveled before. You've represented internationally before.
Yeah, yeah. So for Ireland, this is I think it's my ninth cap.
Brilliant.
So it is my
Sure.
ninth international.
Hang on,
So I've been
we
to
have to do this, huh?
Canada, Milan.
Oh, fantastic. So,
Yeah, no,
uh,
no, I've been everywhere around the world.
right,
Canada, Lithuania,
yeah,
everywhere.
and I think just the pictures that you sent in, right? I mean, that smile. And when we spoke earlier, you mentioned that you love being on the platform.
Yes, indeed. Well, that to me, that's the best bit about powerlifting. I could do without the training.
Yeah.
I don't really do much of the. I don't take protein. I don't take supplements. I don't train too hard an hour a day. That includes traveling.
Hmm.
But it's the competition, getting on the platform, getting the lift heavy, having decent equipment is the bit that I quite like. I quite enjoy. So, every time I'm out lifting, I'm like, yes, look, there's proper referees, there's a crowd.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know,
Oh, fantastic. I think you're gonna
that's
love.
the bit I enjoy.
Yeah. And you're going to love Sun City because we got Commonwealth and Masters concurrently, so it's really going to be great. So it's going to be a big crowd. There's over 1,000 athletes coming out.
Yeah, indeed.
So what you spoke
Yeah,
about? Oh,
it's always great. That's the bit I like. You go out and you.
yeah, absolute. So
Sorry, what was
this.
that?
Oh, there seems to be a little bit of a delay on the audio. So then I'm going to talk and then be quiet and let you talk, because otherwise I'll just keep talking over you. So,
Okay.
right. What is your favorite part about the sport? I mean, we've spoken about lifting and being on the platform. That's the best. So, are there other areas of the sport that you love? The audience, the community. What are the things that are special about powerlifting to you?
Yeah, to me, it's all that. So it is. It's you go whenever you go out and you're meeting people, from a different country or even a different part of the country you're at, and you only get to see them at the powerlifting competitions. You might be in the crowd one day and you'll be like, "Oh, that's the referee that refereed me 2 years ago. I didn't realize they were a lifter," and stuff like that. You see somebody else as a coach and they're also a referee. You get to see all these people that you only once you get into the powerlifting bubble, you
Yeah,
really only see them on social media. You see them at competitions. You're watching it online. You're like, they're big stars to you, but whenever you see them, you're like, that's just right beside me.
yeah,
I go over and talk to them, and like every single person in powerlifting that I've ever met has been really, really friendly towards me, and I try to do that back
absolutely. It's
for
an oh,
everyone. You know,
100%. Speaking to some of the younger lifters, that's the one thing that they've stressed, where they're able to share a platform or potentially even a podium with their heroes and people that they've grown up watching on Instagram, and then seeing them and being able to compete with them. It's amazing.
yeah, it is. It's brilliant. So it is. From whenever I first started, for the first year and a half, I didn't really follow powerlifting. I didn't know anything. People would say, "Oh, do you know Kimberly Walford?" I'd be like, "Kimberly who? Where's she from?" And then I found out, and I've actually I've met her at a couple of competitions, and I'm like, "That's Kimberly Walford. She's a beast. She's a big lifter."
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it's
I don't think you're the only one to describe Kimberly like that.
yeah, dude.
For sure. So, how has powerlifting helped you in your day to day life?
To be honest, it's not. I'm not to the sort of mindset of, oh, it helps me get through the day. It's
Mm-mm.
improved my mental health. To me, I treat powerlifting like I eat my breakfast. For training, it's something you've got to do. You've got to go to the gym.
Right,
Now, spend that 50 minutes between three of us training together. Um, it's more the competition I enjoy, the training. Yeah, I could take it or leave it. If I could get stronger without training, I probably would. But it's the actual being on the platform, uh, meeting everybody at the competition. Since I started, I've got fully involved with it.
right.
I after the first 2 or 3 competitions, I started helping out, volunteering, spotting and loading. Didn't have a clue because I was only just taking up the
Right.
competition. Became a referee after a couple of years. Uh, Gone onto the committee of the NIPF. Now I'm actually the CEO.
Oh,
So,
brilliant.
I help with everything. And I just want to be involved in it and help other people sort of get to where I was, in the international stage and, go out and lift. It's superb. There's no better feeling than being on that platform with a crowd,
And
referees, the whole lot. It's a spectacle.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. One of the best quotes I've heard in the series that we're doing so far is that it's the lifter and the crowd versus the weight.
That's exactly it. You're not really competing. Well, you are technically competing against other people,
Hmm.
but you have to just lift your own weight. What will be at the
Absolutely.
end will be.
Absolutely. What made you, I mean, what drove the decision to get involved, to become a referee, to help with the spotting and loading, to get onto the executive, and now take on the role of CEO?
Well, it was more the NIPF was going through. The main CEO left and stuff, but before that, I always wanted to help and give back. One of the things I never really liked is it's a lot of effort to set up a competition. So it is.
Absolutely.
People don't realize that there's somebody there to organise the spotters and loaders, make sure that there's food for the venue, make sure there's a venue, make sure all that equipment gets there. At the start, whenever I started, I couldn't really help out a lot because I didn't really know what I was doing, but I could always help spotting and loading,
Hmm.
doing that type of stuff. Then after a while, I got asked to be a referee. I think that they thought I wanted to be one. I didn't really want to be one. I was happy enough just helping.
Yeah.
Uh, so I done that, and then there was some people leaving the committee, and they needed people to step up. And because I'd helped out, I'm always willing to help out.
Hmm.
They asked me to do that, and then um, nobody put the name forward last year, I think it was, to be CEO. So you need a CEO. So I'm not really CEO material,
Right.
but I would never want the federation to fail
Yeah.
if I had. So I stepped up, says, there's good people in the NIPF. So there was, the whole federation wouldn't run without the good people. So I stepped up. I'm in the position with a lot of help. To be honest, if I had to run it myself, I don't think one competition would get done.
Fair enough. You mentioned becoming a referee. Has doing becoming a ref and refing, has that helped your lifting as an athlete, knowing how to pull, what to do, what the refs are looking for?
Um, Not really. Well, I think it goes back to the fundamentals of whenever you start lifting. You have to be taught. Make sure you're the depth. Make sure you weight. And
Yeah.
really, being a referee doesn't help you that much because you should know that. I mean, my first competition, I think it was my third competition. It was an IPF one, and I actually bombed out on squats. So I
Right.
did. So I thought I was low enough. Most people thought it was low enough, but we have a couple of referees that didn't think it was low enough. Now they're old school. They've been referees for since about 30 years, international referees, and they didn't think it was low enough. So from that day, I always made sure squat below,
Hmm.
so your butt's touching the ground. Don't leave it up to
Absolutely.
the referee,
Yeah.
you know. So
You.
from that day, just squat low, take your time on bench, and deadlifts, don't hitch. And if
Yeah.
you don't do that, those three things, really, there's nothing that can go wrong.
Great advice. Absolutely. You want to make it as easy as possible for the referees to pass the lift.
Exactly.
Yeah. And,
Referees don't really want to go looking for stuff, but if you
mm,
make stuff obvious or leave it up to them, where is it below the line? Did they push it too quick off the chest? Was it a
mhm.
hitch? You know, the referees don't want to look for that. So if you don't give them that, they're like, that's perfectly fine. But if
Yep.
you make it iffy for yourself, then obviously they have to make a decision.
Absolutely. And the referees prefer to sit up during bench rather than, so rather keep your bum
Yeah.
on the bench. So we're not doing. So it's a long day, and to
Nobody
try and
wants
do,
to.
yeah, to do that in your blazer, it's not fun.
Yeah.
For sure. So, can we chat a little bit about the federation, the team that's coming out? How big is it? What are you expecting? What are you hoping for?
So the Irish team,
Yeah, yeah.
Ireland. Yeah, yeah. So it's not that big a team this year. I think they had a bigger team the year before I became a master that was going to go to South Africa
Hmm.
for the Worlds. I think it was meant to be in Cape Town, was it?
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
COVID.
correct. It was going to be
So
in Cape Town. Yeah.
the Masters team, the Irish Masters team, is a brilliant team. You know, I think that's one of the best things about the Federation, about the Irish Federation, is the Masters lifters. It's such a community. You know, it's different than whenever you're in the Open. I've lifted in the Open and I've lifted as the Masters, and the Masters all sit together. Well, the Open teams all sit together, but the Masters team all hangs around together a lot more. I find, you know, and it's a really good atmosphere. So you'll travel out together as a team. I would travel out with a few from Northern Ireland that were on the Irish team, and I think there was maybe 16 going out originally
Okay.
um, before COVID, and then COVID hit, so they all had to
Mm.
cancel. They all had safaris and everything booked, and then I thought they were all going to go back out, but it's a smaller team this year, so I think it's about 8 lifters
Okay.
going out this year.
That's
So
still the
so it's not as big a
mm,
team,
right.
but you know, because it's a big expense to go to South Africa.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
So it is, yeah.
No,
But it's a
yeah.
brilliant.
We're far away, but our meat and beer are cheap.
Yes, I've been looking that all up. So I have. It's
So,
one of the first things I do is look at the country, look at the price of the food,
yep.
and see what you eat.
Absolutely. The Commonwealth, and I've spoken about this on a couple of the other episodes, when it was held here in 2017, was in Potchefstroom. And there's a restaurant there called Kooperasie. And I stand under correction, but I think it's 100 Rand for a kilo T-bone steak. So that's like £6 for a kilo T-bone. And it's absolutely
See, that's not enough
fantastic. So,
extra food for this.
yeah. It's great.
You know,
We've got a couple of questions on Instagram that have come in over the last couple of days. People want to know, what's the food like, what's the beer like, what's the coffee like. So it's basically
yes.
standard powerlifting questions. I mean, Sun City is a great venue. We're hoping to get someone from Sun City onto the podcast as well, just to chat about the
Okay.
location, and we'll look at the Pilanesberg Game Reserve, the game reserve next door, which is Pilanesberg, or Sun City's almost in Pilanesberg Game Reserve. It's fantastic. They've got the big five, and it's definitely worthwhile checking
Yeah,
out.
I've been looking all that up for, I say, me and Lorraine McKenna.
Yeah,
We're heading out together, so we've had a car. I'd be like looking up the prices. I like we're gonna go through that, you
yeah,
know.
oh, brilliant. Absolutely. And
So
there's a lot of fun. Are you coming out just to Sun City, or are you going to spend some time in Cape Town or Johannesburg?
I'm gonna stay just in Sun City with all the
Right.
lifting going on. You know, I want to be there to support
Yeah.
all the Irish team, and then there's also the NIPF are out there as well. So I want to be watching all them, making sure everything goes well, everyone has a good time.
Yeah.
So I'll sort of be watching powerlifting. I'll also get in doing the safari and maybe the water park and stuff like
Absolutely.
that.
Got to do the water park. It's been the last 2 years when we've had internationals that it was closed for its annual maintenance. So I'm so happy it's open. They got a
Uh,
fantastic wave pool with sand, and if it's open, they've got a slide called the Temple of Courage. When they built it, was the highest and fastest slide in the world. So, but
oh,
not to be rude, but if you go on it, just clench. You're going to get a liter or two up there, so it's unbelievable. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great location, and what's so lovely about Sun City is it's safe, and so you can pretty much relax there. It's not like Dubai where you can
that's,
leave your mobile lying around, but you're safe
yeah.
walking around. There's great security, and that it's awesome. So
I was going to say that because South Africa was never a country. I was like, oh, I'm down to go to South Africa. You know, it's not like Jamaica. You know, I want to
yeah,
go to
yeah,
Jamaica.
yeah, yeah,
But
100%.
South Africa was like, oh, it's never really appealed to me. But then with it being in Sun City, I was like, do you know what? I'll go this year, and I think the Masters is in Cape Town next year.
It's in Cape
I'll
Town next year.
probably, yeah, with the expense of this, I'll probably, and the wife is going to kill me because I think this is my third international this year,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
I've also
wow.
got the nations. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to
You got home nations next
Malaga.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been to Spain, Lithuania.
Yeah.
It'll be South Africa, and then Glasgow, and I'm going to Glasgow over the wife's birthday, her 40th birthday, that she wanted to go take the kids to Disneyland. So I think next year I'm going to give it a miss.
It's good. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So not coming to
Yeah.
Cape Town next year.
No, I'm not coming to Cape Town next year.
Okay, well, we'll
So
so I'm going down. We're going to go down and look at some of the venues and sort of make a final decision. And once that's done, I'll send you a couple of pics and I'll send you some photographs. Make it a difficult decision. Does that sound fair?
saying that, I do always say I'm not going to go to the next competition, but I go to the next competition.
Excellent. Good. No, for sure. Cape Town's definitely worthwhile visiting. There's so much to do, and yeah, it's a great location. Also, Harney always puts on fantastic competitions. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, is there anyone on either of the teams, the Commonwealth team that's coming, or the Masters, sort of that you want to give a shout out to or mention? Any of the training partners, gyms?
Well, I say, do you know what? Every single person deserves a mention
Yeah.
because they are all great lifters. I mean, you've got Lorraine McKenna, who that's my traveling buddy. So it
Hmm.
is, we'll get together and have a great time over there. Do you know there's a lifter who has just started in the last couple of years, but she's a bit like myself. Like I think this will be my 30th competition
Oh
in
wow.
6 7 years. I think the first year I done 8 competitions. Now I'm down to about 6 a year.
Okay.
But there's a woman, Mary Fusco,
Right.
from uh, Ireland, and she's like myself. She's keen, so and I'm looking forward to seeing her lifting this year.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
because usually she'll lift at the start of the competition, and I'm not usually there at the very start.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
she's one to watch out for. And then the Northern Irish team, you had Michael Bruce on earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched this. He's a very good lifter. So he is. Then we've got a few benches. Kyla Mulholland,
Hmm.
brilliant bencher. So does a lot for the federation. Lisa Bell as well does a lot. I think she's competing bench and the three lift.
Okay.
Um, Adam McAlpine, he's a very good equip bencher. He's took it up. I think he took the British junior record recently. So he
Right.
did.
Oh
So
wow.
we want to keep an eye out for. There's a lot of good lifters going out.
Oh, brilliant.
So
It
there's,
Yeah, if you'll drop me some of their profiles and we'll message them to try and get them on, I'd appreciate that.
yeah,
So we don't, you know,
no,
we don't
indeed.
don't have to do it now. It's fine. Is that a parrot in the background that I'm hearing, or your
Do you know what?
dog?
It's a dog. he's crying.
Okay.
I don't know if he sees some food or he wants out.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a crier.
Okay. What is he? A pavement special or no?
Cockapoo,
Eh?
just a cockapoo. A
Okay. Okay.
cockapoo.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. Very
as,
cute.
as I tell people, he's a working dog. So he is. He comes to work with me and sits under my desk.
Oh, that's all right. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So if we chat about sort of the platform where you're lifting versus helping out the team and assisting, how special is that for you? Like you said, you're going into Sun City, you're staying at Sun City just to assist the other guys and help out. What does that mean to you?
Oh no, I'm not be helping out. I say I'm not a
Okay.
coach.
Yeah.
I'm not, so I'll be in the crowd supporting them.
Okay. Brilliant.
So
Okay.
screaming them on, but I leave the coaching to the coaches, and
Yeah.
I haven't really been getting involved in that side. I'm stay in my lane type of guy. I'll help
100%.
out if they need any. Somebody's missing a pair of knee sleeves or something like that. I'm sure I'll have a spare pair. You know,
That's, look,
but
yeah, those are the most important people. The teammates who can do the running to get stuff, so the coaches don't have
exactly,
to. They're really the most important people. That's absolutely
yeah.
fantastic. Oh, brilliant.
The coaches know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's all an experience for them. So it is. I think Michael was saying, we're taking. I think there's 57 lifters
Mm-hmm.
going out,
Sure.
which is a huge team considering we only have about 300 members in the
Right.
federation
Sure. Okay,
and
that's huge.
yeah. So we've decided this year. We're not going to be exclusive. You have to hit this to get. If you can afford
Mm.
to go to South Africa, and represent
Brilliant.
Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
then go. The top person in the weight class will get the invite, and then it'll go down, and we'll bring a bigger team as possible. You
Yeah.
know, you never know when you're going to get to a Commonwealth Games again, and that will always grow the federation. The more people that say, I've been to the Commonwealths, I went to South Africa, they tell their friends, that's something I should try. Because realistically, it's the federation's growing as powerlifting grows.
Yes.
And it's not just young people. I just train in a pure gym, which is a 24-hour, there's no calibrated weights, there's
Okay.
a smooth wall. If I see somebody, an old lady lifting, and I see her doing a squat, have you ever thought about powerlifting? You know, because it's for everyone. It's a sport anyone can get involved in.
It absolutely
So,
is.
you see everyone squatting and benching and deadlift, and it's a way to grow the federation.
Yeah.
So there's, the more people that are out there lifting at internationals, they will tell their friends, they'll maybe give it a go.
It's the
So
yeah, the time on the platform is so valuable in terms of experiencing how to compete, but also as a life experience, and then coming back and sharing that. It's invaluable in terms of growing the sport. It's a wonderful attitude that you guys have in terms of just if you can come, come.
yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Indeed. And this will be the first year we've had a purposely built singlet for the Federation
Oh,
as well as
fantastic.
made us own singlets, socks, t-shirts. So everyone's looking forward to it. So we're just waiting on it being delivered now. And
Okay. Have you seen some of the Instagram and TikTok videos of some of the British girls getting their kit and doing the dancing and the unboxing and the
yeah, I'm
uh,
looking forward to seeing all the Northern Irish doing that.
yeah, me too. And I think hopefully we can share some of those because I think it'll be absolutely brilliant. Uh, you mentioned something amazing. I mean, 30 competitions in 6 years. You remind me of my old powerlifting coach, Rodney Anthony. He's sort of one of the pillars of the South African powerlifting community. A lot of the coaches actually started with him as athletes and then
Okay.
eventually opened up their own gym. And I always remember him saying to me that whenever there was a comp, he would go, whether he had to drive to Cape Town for 1,400 kilometers or to Durban or wherever he had to go to a small town when there were 20 lifters, he would go. It was about the competing for him was the passion.
Yeah, no, indeed. And I find maybe not enough people do enough competitions.
Yeah,
I got pretty quickly up there because I think I do so many competitions. Like, uh, was it a few years ago? I done 3 competitions in 4 weeks. I think one was an international, one was a Northern Irish one, and I think one might have been nationals as well. But I
right.
think the more competitions you do, the more chance you've got to hit PBs. Then you're going to be less scared of doing that weight again. So you can always
Yes.
keep PB. PBing in the gym, I wouldn't know what it's like. I can't hit anywhere near in the gym what I can do on the platform.
Yeah. You're probably
So
going to
I
find
don't.
out your plates are about 25% too heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either that or it's just like I just don't have the motivation to risk it.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, that's great. It's a wonderful attitude to the sport to leave the PBs for the platform and then get on the platform as often as you can.
Yeah,
No,
indeed, it's the only place it counts.
absolutely. I think maybe we should have like a 9 squat day, then followed by a bench day and a 9 deadlift day. So you can compete over 3 days and you get 9 attempts. That'll be pretty cool.
Sounds like too many lifts. That sounds like my
Nine,
warm ups.
yeah, 9 squats. No, okay. So it's like basically, it's 9 warm up reps and then 5 work reps and then done out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So, Anthony, is there anything that you would like to share before we wrap up?
No, not particularly. You say I'm looking forward to going to South Africa. So I am. I say it's 2 weeks. On Friday, I'll be heading out. So we're just looking forward to seeing everyone. All the masters
Brilliant.
lifters. Even there's met a couple of South African lifters at Open Worlds there.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing them. They says they were coming down. At least one of them, I think, one moved to Dublin, and
Okay.
then the other
Yes.
one's still in South.
Right.
So I can't remember his name. I don't know if you know him. He's got a beard,
Yeah.
baldy head.
A power
Uh,
lifter with a beard and a bald head, that doesn't help.
I don't think he's a master lifter at the
Okay.
moment. I thought I made the mistake. I was like, "Oh, you lifting in the masters?" And he's like, "I'm not a master lifter." I was like,
Oh.
"Sorry." Real nice guy. And then I don't know if you know Pia, South
Pierre.
African lifter Pia.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I might. We have a
Yeah,
few. So okay. No, the
yeah,
guys are.
she was lifting at Open Worlds there, so she
Yes.
was in June, and she's a master lifter. Looking forward to seeing all them again, and
You know.
yeah, just the best
Yeah.
countries.
2 o'clock in the morning now. It's going to go. Oh, that one. Yeah. So that'll go. That's when it hits me usually. Oh, brilliant! And I think you guys are gonna have a wonderful time because Sun City is a great venue. It's always a great atmosphere, and South Africans, we're good guys, and we like to host people. We like to host
Us.
visitors, and we like to look after them. Absolutely. So, going to be a lot of fun. There's a couple of good party venues at Sun City as well. So for once you've lifted and just to have a bit of fun. But yeah, it's really good, and we're looking forward to hosting you guys.
Oh, thank you very much. We're looking
Yeah.
forward to being hosted.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to meeting you as well. So, Anthony, really, thank
Yes,
you so much for your time. We really appreciate you coming on. And hopefully, you can bully a couple of your guys into chatting with us as well.
yes, certainly. I'll let them know. I don't know if there's anybody so far, but I'll
Okay.
certainly say to them to
Thank you.
get
We
on and do
appreciate
this.
that. Yeah, brilliant. All right. Again, thank you for chatting to us so late as well. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for everything you're doing, and
No.
giving people a platform and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Just we want
That's
to
what we
get
do.
the athletes, the coaches, the support staff as much exposure as possible, because the more people that know about the sport, exactly as you said, going up to that old lady in the gym who's squatting and saying, "Have you tried powerlifting?" That is exactly what this is about. And hopefully getting sponsors as well, right?
Exactly,
Because it's
exactly.
expensive to come some far out.
Yeah, very expensive.
But you'll enjoy it when you hear it's a little bit more cost effective. So yeah. Then all right, and thank you so much for your
Good,
time.
good.
And all right, have a good night.
Right.
Travel well. Okay.
Thank
All right.
you. Bye.
Cheerio. Bye bye. Bye. And that was a lot of fun. So we were chatting there to, excuse me, so Northern Ireland and Irish affiliated powerlift Anthony coming out to South Africa for the World Masters and 30 competitions in 6 years. Absolutely incredible. Some real pearls of wisdom that Anthony shared with us tonight. And thank you for listening, guys. We'll be back on in about 25 minutes. And we're going to be chatting to a young Canadian lifter. And we look forward to you joining us then. See you shortly. Thank you.